What do we do?
Dance.
How does one become a Reverend Mother?
The Kwisatz Haderach is a form of power that our world has not yet seen.
I have another gift for you, Arrakis.
You want to control people? You tell them a Messiah will come. You gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
We are Bene Gesserit. We don't hope, we plan.
Welcome back. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming Dune Prophecy. There's a new show on HBO, and we are here for it. You did the thing.
Yeah. I mean, we got to have something after you say the title.
Yeah.
Well, we had the intro music that you made that was made by Streaming Things' very own Andy. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, it actually hasn't completely been finished yet, so hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's even there.
I mean, let me rephrase that. Andy has created an incredible track. We'll see if I fuck it up by putting in some really shitty ADR over it.
No.
It's going to be sweet.
What do we do?
I'm hyped to see what you do with it.
Well, what we're going to do, if you've never listened to this show before, we're going to talk about our overall thoughts about this episode in particular. We're going to talk about our history with the Dune franchise a little bit. We've done that a lot here on the show, at least with Steve and I. Andy, back in the day when we reviewed Dune 1.
I was there.
And then we'll do a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap of this episode. Do our best to keep you all up to speed on all the shit that's going on. And then we've got some fun segments for the end, like we always do. We'll do our top 3 favorite moments. They're going to be called the Melange moments in this series.
Spice Melange.
Spice Melange moments. And then our Easter eggs, any kind of lore tidbits or things that might need more explaining. Those are going to be called our burning truths.
Only we can see the burning truths.
That's right.
We were directly requested by the Grandmother Superior Raquella to give you the burning truths.
That's right. And then our favorite performance nomination of each episode really had no other possible name than Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib!
Muad'Dib.
Talking to me all wrong.
So yeah, if you've never listened to Streaming Things before, which happens all the time, every time we pick up a new, I almost said new prophecy, a new property.
We review prophecies as well.
You know, that SEO kicks in, baby. We pick up some new wayward children and freaks to be fans of the show. We're hoping that happens again. But yeah, we're a little silly here. We're a little irreverent. I think you'll find a home here if you're a little bit weird. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Journey over to the Discord on Patreon. You'll find a family. If
you yourself are a very shy halud, you'll be welcome.
That's right.
I don't want to join. I'm a shy halud.
You can though. You can just lurk.
We'll set down a thumper and you can feel at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop my thumper.
Beats.
Yeah. All the EDM fans.
Ooh, beats.
That's all the shy halud is. Just a worm that likes to party.
Yeah, the shy halud is the worm at like a rave that's doing the fist bump, just doing that thing the whole time. That's a shy halud.
That's right. It's not shy anymore.
No,
just a good beat and a little bit of ecstasy.
That's the spice, baby.
/ water of life. Mm-hmm. And we're ready to rock.
6 milli Zenny up there, and he's just having a good time.
Yeah, baby. So we're gonna have a good time for the next 6 weeks. This is a 6-episode series every Sunday night on HBO. And look forward to our Severance coverage right after that. You can go to patreon.com/streamingthings to get bonus episode of all types. Oh, yes. We got this month, it's Galaxy Quest that's already done and out. Mm-hmm. And then we've got Good Will Hunting dropping next week.
Yeah, that'll be next week.
That's Steve's first time ever watching this movie. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
As well as our Game of Thrones coverage.
Yep, every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. On Patreon only, we do Game of Thrones.
We're in the middle of season 3, and we just dropped a good one.
We did just drop a good one.
Well, it's coming out in 2 days.
Yeah.
We just recorded it.
Yeah.
But Andy, I'm curious, because of life and circumstances, you just watched Dune Part 2.
Literally watched it last night.
For the first time. How did you feel? Do you feel like a different person?
I feel pretty much the same, but I feel like somebody that has now seen Dune Part 2.
Okay,
so there's a slight change.
So you feel like a better person.
Yeah. Dune 2 was it was dope. I mean, it's super silly, but Dune in general is pretty silly. So I'm just here for the good vibes. You know what I mean? So I had some fucking homework yesterday because I had to watch all of Dune 2. I had to watch that Game of Thrones episode and do Dune Prophecy.
Dude, that's like 6 hours of content and I muscle through.
And I had to like constantly pause and rewind this episode of Dune Prophecy because I'm like, who the fuck is that? Wait, that guy's the Emperor? Okay. And so like go back and change my notes and be like, okay, that dude's the Emperor. I think.
Did you figure out how to put subtitles on the screener app? Okay, at least there's that.
Yes, thank God for that. Super helpful. Yeah, Dune 2 kicked ass, but we're not here to review that. I had a good time with it. I enjoy a good sci-fi, so I enjoyed myself. Dune Prophecy, we'll get into it. I think that it's a premiere setting up a world that I'm only quasi familiar with, and it's introducing an entirely new set of people, just some of whom have the same last names as the movie that I just watched. So I'm like, okay, they're related. But I had a good time with it. I mean, it's very beautiful. It's obviously very reminiscent of stylistically of the Denis Villeneuve movies. I had a great time.
Steve, I mean, remind the listener, you've got a deep and abiding love of the Dune franchise, read the books and all that nonsense.
I read a book.
Read the book.
the one that people read.
Yeah. You read a book.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dune.
The perks of being a wallflower.
Gary Paulson's Hatchet.
That's a joke for Patreon. No, so I've only read Frank Herbert's original Dune novel. I've read it a couple times. I enjoy the world of Dune a lot because I think it's a very well thought out world. Like Frank Herbert's really great about saying like, okay, what does the universe look like if humanity is spacefaring but doesn't believe in thinking computers? How does it work? If everyone has a force field around them, how does that change the way people fight wars, right? And it's just interesting to kind of really think about. As far as like because there's a bunch of other Dune novels. There's a ton of them, and I've never read all of them. I've read wikis on most of them. They're all pretty fucking weird. If you think Dune Part 1 and Part 2, the movies are weird, I'm sure it's just going to get even weirder if they keep making these movies. But so I was actually like pretty excited for Dune Prophecy because Dune 1 and 2, the movies are great. I even love the David Lynch movie from the 80s that's just so weird and silly. And I even watched the documentary Jodorowsky's Dune, which is about a movie that would have been made by Jodorowsky that never actually got made. But like the fact that he tried to make that movie was very influential for all the movies that you love, like Alien and Star Wars, a bunch of other movies. So I was really excited about this episode. So I would just want to say, full disclosure, Andy and I were given screenies for Dune Prophecy much later than we were originally planning on getting. We got them last night as of our recording. So usually what I would like to have done is watch this episode like twice at least and got a bunch of stuff. But we didn't get our screenies until like, what was it, like 9 o'clock last night?
Yeah.
So I was in a similar situation as Andy was, where I kept like rewinding, like, okay, what was that person's name? What was that? Because I was just trying to do a lot of catch up. So it was like, I imagine if you're not familiar with Dune to the extent, like I know the original novel very well. Everything else beyond that, I'm only vaguely aware of. So it's even for me, this episode is kind of like turning on a fire hydrant and just trying to drink from it. And the water just blasting me in the face. So there might be some things in this particular episode where I'm just kind of like, who is that? I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of everything because we got it so late and I wasn't able to do the due diligence that I would have liked to have brought to the table. However, that being said, my thoughts on this episode, The Hidden Hand, episode 1. I think this episode's actually pretty uneven in a lot of ways. I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10 if I had to rate it. There are enough really good writing segments and some good performances to keep me like invested. And the way the episode actually ends, it ends in a note where I'm like, okay, I'm interested in the story. I do think this episode was very uneven. It'll go from the production quality of some of the sets and scenes teeters from scene to scene. Like in one scene, it's like, this is Denis Villeneuve's Dune. And then the next scene, it's like, this is Arrow on the CW. And there's just this weird sort of, it kind of gives you a little whiplash in how everything looks. And there are 3 young adult leads in this room in this show that stick out like a sore thumb every time they pop up in the show. It just feels like what 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 other CW show did they just walk off set and onto this show? It's very jarring.
There's in the scene with XOXO Gossip Girl.
Yes, exactly. So it's a little strange. But like I said, I think the world is there. The potential is there. The performances, for the most part, are there. And there's also, so like I mentioned before, there's a couple scenes that have really, really great examples of writing and sort of like pontificating, like what is a lie, and like all that kind of stuff is really, really great. So I'm in it, but I'm a little sort of like, I don't know if this is the best foot to put forward in terms of like this is a brand new franchise, it's brand new Dune. Let's get everybody hyped and going. I just don't think it was quite a home run of a first step for the franchise, if I'm being honest.
Stumbled out the gate.
Yes,
That's all right.
I think they can recover.
Yeah.
I absolutely think they can recover for sure. It's the possibility is there. It's just this first episode was just fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have complicated thoughts. I was blessed with the opportunity to go to the world premiere of Dune Prophecy in New York. So I saw it there, and then I watched it again last night. And I have similar feelings on my second viewing as I did the first viewing, where like there's a lot of good here. There's a lot of things that really bother me. And I find myself wondering a little bit who this show is for. Is this show going to please all the diehard Duners?
Is that what the fan base is called? Duners?
I just came up with that. I didn't workship it. I'm feeling okay.
I like it. Diehard Duners.
What
I
are
like
you
it.
doing over here?
What are you doing?
The DHDs. Diehard Duners.
Because I don't think so. Because like you guys said, there are moments of the majesty of Denis Villeneuve's Dune in this show, especially like the outdoor production design. We get a little bit of space, but it's all of the stuff with Princess Inez and Kieran, I think that's really weak and feels atonal from the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting, but I did get to see at the premiere like a trailer for the rest of the season, which will probably be on everybody's radar when it's on HBO tomorrow night.
Well, Andy and I have not seen it because it wasn't on our
Correct.
screener, but you're probably right. Well, HBO will probably
I think
play
it'll
that
probably be
trailer.
on them. Yeah, and that looks really interesting. That looks like some good stuff. So, you know, obviously we're going to keep watching because we're covering it, but I feel like I would anyway. But I did not come away, I didn't walk out of that premiere like, oh, wow, you know. It reminds me of what they did with House of the Dragon a lot, because you've got 262 years or whatever they said before Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
Like they did the same thing with this. But House of the Dragon, in my opinion, is incredible.
Yeah.
And I do not feel that way about Dune Prophecy. You know, like, wow, this is like it's an entirely own thing. I don't even care what it has to do with. I just love Rhaenyra almost as much as I did Daenerys. It's like its own thing. Whereas this, I don't give a fuck about any of these people, and much less the way that I care about Chani and Paul and those characters, right?
You don't love Rachese and Carino?
Boy, wait till I get to Rachese. I also feel like
Jay-Z.
philosophically, I hate everything about what's going on. And I'll tell you why.
What do you mean?
So maybe not philosophically wasn't the right word. I don't know what the word is, but
Women controlling the universe. What?
no.
Oh, no. Can't know.
For instance, this is 10,148 years before Paul Atreides.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go there, right? And yet, all of the technology is the same. Okay, there's no thinking machines. Sure. That's fine. It's just a little silly. But we've also got House Carino is still the emperor. Atreides is still a thing. Harkonnen's still a thing. Guys, do you have any concept of how long 10,000 years is? It's a long time.
It is a long
For
time.
a family, all these families to be the same. How many generations without any wars taking them out or any, you know, the same emperor for 10,000 years? That explains why they were so mad that when the great houses were so mad that, you know, Paul tries to supplant
you
Carino.
can't do that.
Yeah, well, you can't do that. Muad'Dib.
Should we? I mean, I guess this goes without saying, but like, if you've not seen Dune,
Spoilers for the movies.
the movies will be spoiled in these reviews. We won't spoil like the TV show, but we're gonna probably reference the movies. So like, if you haven't had those spoiled for you, that's gonna happen. Just warning you.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Because the Muad'Dib, he spoils things. And I hate to say this, but
Christopher Walken as the Emperor is so fucking funny.
his dad was a bitch.
Yeah, there's no taking that movie seriously. As soon as he pops up on screen, you're like, what?
My
are we
daughter.
doing here.
Yeah, I love Christopher Walken, and part of me loves that he's the Emperor in the movies, but I agree that like I don't know if it was a great casting choice, because every time he pops up, you're just like, that's Christopher fucking Walken.
I was talking to Chris on the drive over because it was like the only opportunity we had for me to talk about Dune not on the air. And I was just like, this is unbelievable. It's like they're winking at the audience and being like, hey, this is still Hollywood. So we got to, do something silly.
Nothing says Hollywood like Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's perfect casting.
You're talking to my daughter all wrong.
You know what I'm saying? There's something juvenile about, I feel pandered to, that it's like Atreides. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that.
I know who they are.
Yeah. I'm interested enough in this world for you to have just laid down the groundwork without all this stuff.
But I see your point and I agree with you, but also I'm not going to levy that complaint against the showrunners because they're just working with the lore that has already been
Working with what they
built.
got.
Yeah.
I don't know how. So none of us have read Sisterhood of Dune, which is what this is loosely based on, Frank Herbert's son's book.
It's loosely based off that. I went back last night and kind of did a quick wiki reads about that book, and it is very loosely based.
I talked to Sydney, who's reading it, and our resident Dune lore expert friend, and she was like, I don't think there's much they're pulling from that book, to be honest with you.
There's a sisterhood.
Yeah. But I like the idea of, let's get the origins of the Bene Gesserit and them laying the groundwork. Now, what is interesting in a sci-fi fantasy way is that the prophecy that they made up, that they're utilizing all throughout the movies, Dune 1, Part 1 and 2, has been in the works for 10,000 years. That's how fucking dedicated this cult is. Like, that's cool. That's interesting. I didn't need the member berries necessarily, and it kind of cheapens it for me. And I also think it's kind of silly. Like, but I get it. Like, okay, we need some waypoints for the fans. And obviously, and then Frank Herbert's son, he's no Frank Herbert. So it's like, I'm going to use Harkonnen and stuff. That's what Daddy did. That's what Dad would have done.
The Atreides and Harkonnen, because I think in the beginning of this episode, Valia mentions how the Harkonnens didn't go to a battle and the Atreides kind of snitched on them. And so the Harkonnens were sort of like punished for not being brave. That is an important part to this history of those families and why they feud for so long.
Yeah.
So
they have a very long enmity.
Well, in the prequel beginning of this episode,
world has changed.
When they're setting that up and they show like, humans fighting against the robots, I'm like, oh my God, I want to watch that show.
The Butlerian Jihad?
Yeah, that looks fucking dope when they're fighting against the AI and shit. Like, that seems incredible. And they're like, okay, yeah, we won that war, moving on. And I'm like,
it's interesting the way they sort of like film that, because at least my understanding of the Butlerian Jihad it wasn't so much like Terminators versus
that was James Cameron's Butlerian Jihad.
It was more like people who use robots fighting people who think it's awful because there's like religious and philosophical differences of like humans are being controlled by the robots but the robots aren't necessarily like
we're taking over.
We're pew,
Bring us your women.
Chat GPT versus the Writers Guild of America.
That's better.
I think that's one of the things that Sydney pointed out, I think at the premiere, was like, it's interesting and kind of lame that the real Dune story is that it was humans controlling the robots that were fighting the other humans. And that's like philosophically interesting, not just like a James Cameron situation, which seems to be what the show's doing.
Maybe the show is going to end up that way because I mean, even with what's his name, Pruitt's little robot lizard, and the Rachesi dad's like, we control these. Why are we so scared? Maybe that's what they're leading to. Is everyone thinks it was the robots went crazy, but there was actually human involvement.
It was asshole people.
Was there a dude riding on top of that Terminator that I didn't see? Like, it could have been.
That'd have been dope.
Guns don't kill people. Rachesis do.
Yeah.
That's maybe what we're saying here.
Yes.
But ultimately, I know that sounded really, really negative. I'm in. I love this world. I think that there's I think the production design is doing some heavy lifting for my enjoyment so far. The costumes are incredible. Most of the sets are amazing. I love we don't get much like space action in either of the movies for some reason.
Yeah.
And so we get a little bit of that. That's really fun.
Yeah, I hope this show kind of goes more into the Navigators Guild, if that's even a thing at this point in the story. But
It has to be. They're navigating.
yeah.
Without spice.
Without
They talk about
yeah.
Arrakis a lot.
And they've been struggling on Arrakis for 10,000 years. Like, this shit's funny to me, guys. It's a little
funny.
silly.
It's like, hey, the Fremen are attacking. Like, Jesus Christ, it's been 10,000 years of these fucking Fremen.
Can't get a hang on. And then, but a lot of the show is good. It's just like really funny to me when like Charlie Hunnam from Wish shows up and I don't know what's going on, man. And we got some powers we've never seen before, but we'll get into it. So let's dive it in. In case you're really confused about what the fuck even just happened, let's break it down for you as best we can. If you want to see three dumbasses explain it to you, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll try.
Let's do it, baby. All right, guys, let's get in it. It opens, as Andy said, with that kind of Lord of the Rings like prequel kind of. First off, there's a voiceover. Victory is celebrated in the sunlight, but won in the darkness. Exactly. And we get to see, they don't name it that, but it is what is known as the Butlerian Jihad. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to put so much emphasis on but.
Butlerian.
The Butlerian. And this is where man warred with the machines.
It was cool. Like, even though this isn't exactly how I always interpreted the Butlerian Jihad to look like,
Sure.
just kind of seeing it being alluded to.
Yeah, like, oh.
As a fan was like, oh, cool.
This is
like,
how they
I didn't think
jihaded
I
the
would get
Butler.
to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Atreides, we know that name, are the ones that led them to victory, but then somehow House Carino is the one that became emperor. And the person...
Well, I think House Carino, and I could be wrong on this, but I think this is right. House Carino, their like actual surname is Butler, and the Butlerian Jihad was led by what would become the Carinos.
They chose a new name because they're like, this is a servant's name.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They can't do
It
that.
used to be House Alfred, and that was just not cool. By the way, we got Carmine Falcone again in another show. That's interesting.
Mark Strong. Or as Erica puts it, Wish Stanley Tucci. And I was like, holy shit.
wow.
We're throwing some shade at Mark Strong.
Dang.
He's got his own vibe.
He does.
He's no Tooch.
Not all bald guys, am I right?
Am I right? I'm with you. For no reason at all, for listeners that don't know. But it's Valia Harkonnen that is doing the voiceover. And she says that her grandfather fled the fight, ran like a little bitch, what Ma Cobb would call a pussy boy.
Pussy boy.
Yeah. And so the Harkonnens were banished to a desolate world. I'm assuming that's Getty Prime, but it looks all snowy at the time.
Alaska.
Well, they haven't destroyed it yet. They have 10,000 years to do that.
Oh, you mean, oh, yeah. That's why they're not bald yet.
I don't think it would be Getty Prime because Getty Prime's supposed to have is it a black star? And that's why when they're outside.
Black sun, yeah.
Black sun.
Which the sun is a star.
Right. Well, the way you said a black star, I was like, oh, no, am I wrong?
I mean, you are. Nobody calls our sun a star, but technically
It's
it
a
is.
star. So I'm right.
I mean, sure.
So I don't know. Maybe it'll turn out to be Getty Prime.
Maybe
I
the
don't
star turns black.
Yeah, it was us that scorched the skies. Kind of a Matrix thing, you know?
Happy birthday, nephew.
I'm pretty sure it was Neo Atreides that was in this fucking battle. Like, yeah.
Neo?
This is Neo Atreides.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is straight up the Matrix. It's just the end of the Matrix.
Did he know Kung Fu?
This is what comes after.
I know Kung Fu.
Whoa.
So the Harkonnens are banished, and she says that the history that was told is just a bunch of Atreides lies, right? And she vows to change it. And so she chose to be a Bene Gesserit, which they never even call them Bene Gesserits in this episode.
Truthsayers.
They're just, well, that's a function that they serve, but they call it the sisterhood.
Yeah. But Bene Gesserit.
We will henceforth be calling them the Bene Gessees because that's what cool people say. And the very first Mother Superior, like the leader of the sisterhood, is Raquella Berto Anirul. And at this point, I paused and turned on the subtitles.
Yeah.
I was like, I got this. Raquella Berto Anirul. All right. I'm going to need a little help here.
Back.
And yeah, they function as truthsayers. They have a lot of different skills, many of which they haven't quite developed yet. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that they can do is really detect using science, like, a pupil dilation, pulse, heart rate, those kinds of things, sweaty palms, like perspiration on the skin. They can tell if somebody is lying.
They're big fans of Lie to Me.
Yeah. And so they want to establish a network of influence throughout the Imperium.
They got Lie to Me, The Mentalist, Psych, all that shit is on repeat
Big
They
Tim
love
Roth
that shit.
fans.
at Wellick 9.
Yeah. Wallach 9. And she says that, those who held power required more than just guidance. Transformation is what Raquela's working on, a secret project to breed better leaders. So she creates a genetic archive. But there are zealots within the sisterhood who view the breeding as heresy. But Valia is down. So that's the setup for this.
Yeah, that's right. Our protagonist of this story, huge eugenics.
Yep.
People.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Loves Gattaca.
very much so. Hates that movie. He shouldn't be allowed to be an astronaut. This is bullshit. Propaganda. And if you remember from the Dune movies, they do a lot of selective breeding, the Bene Gesserit and the Dune movies. And that's how we get the result that is Paul Atreides, the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
And even somewhat, what's his fucking name? What do we do? Fade Rotha.
Fade Rotha, yeah.
All that stuff is super important. So they're still doing it 10,000 years from now. They're the selective breeding. You're supposed to make it a girl.
We're seeing it in its infancy because at this point, I don't think, because by the time we get to the movies, they're specifically breeding people to breed the perfect being that has the abilities of a Bene Gesserit, a navigator, and a mentat all in one to unlock the future and everything. And I don't think that's their goal yet. They
want to. Well, Valia's goal is to put a sister on the throne.
Yeah. And so it's just interesting to see how like this original idea, like that, this is their original idea and what it will eventually become in the movie. So it's kind of neat to see like, oh, this is where that whole thing started.
I'm sure the whole point of the show is that it will end with.
We need to make a Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah, exactly. And they make that prophecy on Arrakis or something.
And he shall be called Paul.
Which is a biblical name. But in her final moments, Raquela, Mother Superior Raquela, calls for Valia, not her granddaughter, Dorothea. And she says, look, it's coming. The Tyrann Raphael. And I was like, what?
What?
And we like zoom in, and this is really cool visual stuff. Like it zooms in on her eyeball, and we see a Shai Hulud on Arrakis eating like this whole giant building.
It's all like Shai Hulud.
Shai Hulud.
It eats their castle.
Yeah,
on,
there's
on Wallach 9.
Oh, that's the Wallach 9 castle?
Yeah. But it's on Arrakis.
But it's on Arrakis. What? And there's blood dripping. The building's falling. Space. We see space.
Space. And then like a Decepticon starts talking in space.
Yeah, and it's Starscream.
Yeah.
Megatron. I should be leader.
Mine's Cartman.
You guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She tells Valia to grow the sisterhood and safeguard their power, right? Dorothea hears as well. And she's like, yeah, all right, Grandma, like we're going to do
Let's
that.
get you
right?
to bed, Grandma.
And she said that, by the way, Tyrann Raphael means holy judgment brought on by a tyrant, which is why I get why they use the shortened version. But that's what she says is coming. The Tyrann Raphael, the holy judgment brought on by a tyrant, which is, we all know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my buddy Paul. He's cool though. He's a little weird, but he cool. But Valia has her own people loyal within the sisterhood that want to do, the mission. And I think it's funny that she calls Dorothea and her lot zealots.
Zealots.
Because they're deeply religious and they believe that breeding people is weird and wrong. But it's Valia that runs the zealots, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Valia's little crew that she's talking to, I think one of them's supposed to be Kasha, one of them's Tula, her sister.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that was kind of cool that they got the younger versions there. Like, we're here, girl. Let's go.
Yeah, that's 100% young
Down
Kasha.
since day one.
But she says, look, what we need to do is put one of ours on the throne. A sister? Yes. And then
Dorothea won't agree.
it's Sister Act is what they could have called this.
Sister.
We cut to her taking that ring off of the dead body of Raquela, the ring of power.
Valia's eyeballing that ring. She won't bet.
She wants that ring.
Yeah.
They gave us that ring at the premiere. I have it. So
That's
I should
dope.
bring it. We could all wear
Are
it.
you a sister now?
I am. Apparently.
Are you a Bene Gesserit?
I'm the first male.
Wow.
I might be the Kwisatz Haderach.
Maybe. You just have to drink worm piss to be sure.
No big deal. But she says, we cannot be split. That's the main thing. We all have to be unified in this goal. I'm going to go talk to Dorothea, but I'm pretty sure she agrees with me. It's going to be fine. Be right back, right? But no, Dorothea does not agree. She has followers too, and she says that humility is our greatest tool. She speaks up at the funeral, right? Thou shalt not disfigure the soul. And everybody's like, what? And Valia says, it's her voiceover now, like, I always walk through adversity. Oh, sometimes I stab it. And Valia finds Dorothea searching Raquel's office. She's looking for the breeding index, which she finds.
She's just feeling around on the underside of the desk. Like, is there a secret button?
She's got it taped under there.
Oh, it's hanging on the wall. I should have looked there. And she says that she needs to return the sisterhood to its values, right? We need to guide the Imperium, not rule it. Let's actually perform the function that we say that we're performing, not do creepy weird shit. And Valia's like, that's not how we roll, dude. What? Lame. No, this is us playing God. It's not cool. And so this is part of the show that's supposed to be this huge weighty moment that I have to tell you guys, I hate it.
Stop, face me.
I don't think the voice sound design is as cool as it is in the movies.
Well, it's because she's still working it out. She's workshopping it.
Guys,
you know?
this is so dumb.
And I know, 'cause she's like, it's just a little thing I've been working on.
Yeah, I was going to show you. What do you fucking mean? That's like a major ability, dude. Some shit I came up with. You like it?
That's what you've been doing in the yard all these months?
Sniff your own farts. What? Yeah, I've been using it on Kasha.
Where the fuck did this power come from, dude? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
Queef at lunch. Yeah. It's like, it's going to be so embarrassing. Like she's just been pranking her buddies. You okay, Steve?
The specificity of where to queef.
And the cafeteria is the most embarrassing place.
Oh no.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Everybody's going to laugh.
So this didn't work for you at all?
No, the whole thing, it's a new skill I've been honing. It's silly.
It is silly. It worked for me.
But then
I mean, the voice, anytime people use the voice in Dune, always hits me.
I think the voice is fascinating, but it works 10,000 in the movies because it's like at some point they learned that.
The fact that it
and
was
now we find out how they learned it. I came up with it.
That was dope.
I started talking funny and people would do stuff. I don't know why she's Mickey Mouse now.
That's the voice.
Pull out your blade.
don't fuck with the mouse.
It worked for me. I liked how like she was a little unsure with her. I don't know. It is silly. It's weird. But in the context of like, this is the first time it's ever been used on somebody theoretically. I like how it was a little awkward. And
I think the actress who plays Dorothea did a great job of being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why did I stop? You know, all that's cool. But she says, anyway, she uses the voice on her to turn around and stop.
How dope is that when they do this in the movies too, but when they use the voice, it cuts to the Y and you see like the water and the puddles start like reverberating.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's dope.
And
Looks
she
like the
says,
sand.
if you bend to me, I'll teach you how to do this and we can like take over the universe together. And Dorothea,
I will never bend.
I will never bend. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not going to work.
Drive your blade into your throat.
That worked for me.
So that's terrible. Yeah.
Take out your blade, drive it into your throat.
And I felt the audience at the premiere was like, you know, like they were all kind of shooketh by that. Because you at these things, there's like, you know, it's
People are way more into than any other movie you've been to.
Well, there's like 500 people there and there's all of the cast and crew, but then also like 80% of those people are just people who go to events professionally and maybe not even seen the Dune movies, you know? And then there's a bunch of like fans and stuff. So it's like, yeah, a lot of people were like, violent. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying the audience in general was digging it at this point. And then it cuts to, I like how she bleeds down the stairs into that water you were talking about too. It's very symbolic of like this gesture has polluted what we do now. It's forever changed the course.
And the bloody steps were in Raquel's dream that we saw just minutes ago. It's cool.
And then we cut to those same steps 30 years later, 116 years after the Butlerian Jihad War, 10,148 years before Paul Atreides.
I was
before Daenerys Targaryen.
I was so embarrassed because I was watching this with Erica, and right as we started, when we first, like literally maybe a minute before this, she turned to me and she's like, "So this, how long before the movies is this?" I'm like, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's like 300 years or something.
Oh, you did like a House of the Dragon kind of thing?
And then like the 10,000, I'm like, I was way off.
Oops. You're a little off. No big deal. Now they're doing yoga at the thriving Bene Gesserit school.
It's got green in it.
It does.
Hogwarts.
Valia rules the sisterhood now. She's the Reverend Mother Superior. And I thought it was really interesting. We get a few different houses that are asking for truth sayers, including House Harkonnen, which we see again later. And I think it's really funny where Harkonnen is at in like the totem pole at this moment. But they are denied a truth sayer for the fourth time, which is her own house, right? So she doesn't have any loyalty to House Harkonnen specifically. And then we see the Imperial guards that are showing up before the arrival of the princess. So what's going on here is Princess Inez has been accepted into the sisterhood, but she's such an important person that they're kind of like walking the hall, seeing what the vibe is, making sure there's no assassins, and her half-brother. So Constantine is her brother, but only her half-brother, so he has no claim to the throne. He's just some rich Nepo baby kid who likes to party.
Yo, I missed that. All right.
Yeah. That's all stuff that I only got on the second watch, right? And the chicks think he's hot. Not the chicks. That was really... These bitches are into it, right? No. Some of the young ladies that are training to be in the sisterhood think that he's attractive, and they're joking about how they want to fuck the rich guy, right? Like great wealth and idle hands. Those are two things I'm into. And then maybe I'll be the princess's truth sayer when she gets the throne. And they're like, she's going to be her own truth sayer. It's the whole point of her coming here. And the one lady's like, oh, I didn't think about that. But Constantine, the brother, is making demands for his sister to Valia, right? Like she needs her own bed. She wants like hella Dove chocolates, the caramel kind.
Oh, the caramel kind?
You see what I'm saying?
She gets extra chalky milk at lunch.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every
Ice
time.
cold chalky milk.
And only 6 people are allowed to talk to her at any given day.
No eye contact from any of them.
That's right. And but I love this scene. This is a good scene because Valia holds firm and she's like, she will be treated the same as any other person here. And he's like, well, then she's not going to come. And Valia goes,
How unfortunate.
That's a shame. But she really wants this. This is the culmination of 30 years of planning. But so she's being a fucking gangster by bluffing this hard right now. And it's a really tense moment. And then Constantine breaks. He's like, I had to try. She fucking loves Dove chocolates.
Oh, man, she does.
Honestly, I lied. She doesn't even have them. I like this.
I would have taken them. She would have sent them back to me.
She doesn't even know I'm here.
She's lactose intolerant.
I'm not allowed to get them at home. So this is my way.
We do snort a lot of Coke, though. Do you guys have that? She likes that.
Yeah. I specifically put it in an inhaler.
No, that's different. That's what they order
straight
from the
up
bar.
blow.
They get blow on the bus there. We'll get there.
Okay.
As your resident, as your resident drug expert,
Okay.
I'm going to walk you through what's going on here.
Okay, thank you.
But then they sign with their insignia. They do like the
ring is a seal?
the ring wax.
Yeah.
They still do that 10,000 years later. That's their move. And you can see like a sigh of relief on Valia Harkonnen. Like, thank God, it's done. I did it. Woo, party. And then they're teaching a lesson on
Anatomy.
the lie.
Humanity's greatest weapon is the lie.
And it's Tula that's teaching the class, I think, her sister. And Sister Jen is like a fast learner and a good liar, right? What do we see about this brain here? Big pants on fire is what some of them say. And then Jen's like, she's a survivor. That's right. That's what humanity's greatest weapon is. Steve
We lie to
pointed out.
survive. We lie to our enemies, our friends, and even to ourselves.
But the body rejects it.
It's hard to lie. I like that.
Dilate and stuff.
It's true. We don't like lying.
This sort of philosophical sort of talking about what lies are and how it affects the human body. Like I dug this a lot.
Agreed. This is Dune. And this is when the show is at its strongest. It's later when they're like, we know you guys like boobs and parties and stuff too. Where it's like, you can be that kind of show, but you're not leaning heavily enough into it. Like there's 3 different types of shows in one in this episode. And they're not doing any one of them particularly well. Like Charlie Hunnam from Wish. I don't like that guy. I don't know what show he's in. He's not doing bad. It's just like that's Altered Carbon. And then Inez and Kieran are in a CW show. And then the rest is Dune. And it's, so it's like, it's just really atonal for me. But Valia comes in.
When you say Charlie Hunnam from Wish, you're referring to Desmond?
Desmond Hart. Yeah. Okay. The guy's good. It's just, do you not see what I'm saying when I say that?
I see what you said. Yeah. I
Don't
see
gaslight me. Because that when I said that at the premiere, a lot of the people I was with were like, that was Charlie Hunnam? And I'm like, no. He just very much wishes he was. No, I'm sorry. He's nice. I'm
what's
sure.
Wish?
Isn't Travis Fimmel the guy from like Raised by Wolves and stuff?
I didn't watch that. The Ridley Scott show?
Yeah.
The first episode was really good. Did you watch all of it?
I watched the first season.
Was it good?
It's fucking wild. I don't know if I would say good.
Cool.
Yeah, he was Marcus in Raised by Wolves. Yeah,
there you go. But Valia comes in, dismisses the class.
Well, she's like, pop quiz tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like, is this kind of Hogwartsy?
Yeah.
Are you into it for that?
It's big time Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
They have to go to Charms.
Yeah.
But her sister Tula, again, was teaching, and she tells her, hey, we've got good news. The princess is coming. Like, so we've done it, right? Like, our plan is in full sway.
will be ours.
And we cut to fucking space. And I keep saying that because it's so exciting because we never see that in the movies.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of space. I'm like, oh, fuck, they can fly. Like,
They fly now?
I don't know where we're at in the fucking lore. You know what I mean? Like, we barely see flying in fucking the Dune movies, and that's 10,000 years later. So.
Well, they do be flying.
And they have fucking wing pilot things.
Ornithopters.
Yeah, ornithopters.
Those are so cool. I want that Lego.
I do too, dude.
This is
my favorite thing about that Lego is it comes with a Lego Baron Harkonnen, but they have him on like a really tall piece, so he's like really tall because he's floating in the air.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
He's got the little thing.
Yeah, I love it.
This is Salusa Secundus, which is the home world of House Carino, the Imperial House. I don't know if it's where House Carino's from or if that's where whoever's emperor lives.
That's
Doesn't
a good
matter.
question.
Doesn't matter, I guess. What were you going to ask?
This is something that I gotta. Yeah, Salusa Secundus is kind of interesting because I believe that's the planet that they train the Sardaukar on in the movies. Which in the lore of the movie, I think that planet is like really shitty and awful.
Which one's
like
the
in the past,
Sardaukar?
Those guys.
The Sardaukar are the warriors of the emperor. Like they sent them to kill House Atreides alongside the Harkonnens, and then they actually are really dispatched easily anytime you see them. But,
Yeah.
But then
Dude,
Christopher
they
Walken's
kind
like,
of just stand off to the side like, you better not touch Christopher Walken.
I've got my Sardaukar. I parked it outside. It's a
It's all
Sardaukar.
wrong. Yeah, it becomes a prison planet because it's like a harsh planet at the time of the movies. But it's cool to see it in this like super vibrant, lush.
It's a
planet.
thriving, beautiful place now.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that would typically be a burning truth, but we're learning it live.
Sorry, guys.
No,
Sorry.
hey.
I forgot the format of the show.
Hey, no, we just figured it out. I saw you in real time.
I was looking at it.
Because he got the screeners last night.
This is the type of shit I was talking about. I got the screeners way too late. I couldn't do this shit. I'm doing it now.
But when we see the princess, it's just like a Paul Atreides member berry, right? Like she's training to fight with her sword master, who
Atreides.
Yeah, which is instead of Khal Drogo, it's this guy. And she's
Step down.
They're doing the shield stuff, right? And she loses a lot. She's not as good of a fighter. And he's like, focus on the body. No, not my dick. And not the blade. The body will tell you where it's going. And
I love that part where he's like, don't watch the blade. Listen to this, and just like points at her heart. I'm like, I'm not sure that's good advice for a fight.
Constantine comes in.
Oh, you want to see?
That is not a brother hug. Can we all? You guys both have sisters.
Yeah.
Has your sister ever?
That's a Lannister brother hug.
Leapt upon you and wrapped her legs around you like that?
No.
What about after not seeing her for a little while?
No.
What about on Christmas? Because I want to tell you, the audience at the premiere, like I was sitting by a bunch of strangers, and then like Sydney and George and everybody was a couple rows back, but everybody kind of like did a real uncomfy shift. Like, oh, is that what we're doing?
More incest in our HBO shows.
This is an HBO show.
I do think it works because I think the character, I do love the character of Princess Inez.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's some kind of like rich royal immorality.
Yeah, they like to
that
party.
you get to see immediately just by that hug. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's fascinating.
I think it does a good job of establishing the type of relationship that they have, even if it isn't like a particularly effective familial, embrace.
Even if it's not full incest, I think it just goes a full way to show like their morality is different because they're so rich and removed from law. And she's tying the knot to a boy just out of diapers. We get that line dropped in. It's explained a little bit later, but that's what Constantine says. And Kieran is his trainer. There's a little bit of, if not outright jealousy, just kind of like, what's up, bro, between him and Constantine.
What up, my guy?
We got to spend some more time together before you go to Wallach 9, which is the world where the sisterhood takes place, right?
Yep.
We cut to Emperor Carino. I think his name is Javico.
Javico, yes.
Yeah, I say it at the very end of the episode.
Javico.
House Richese is gifting House Carino a fleet of ballista motherships. And this is part of an agreement that they have. You marry the princess to my son so that he'll technically be emperor when he comes of age. And in exchange, I'll give you a fleet of warships for you to take back, put down the rebellion on Arrakis, which we know is going to go great.
No one ever puts down the rebellion on Arrakis.
There's too many
Arrakis
sieges.
puts down the rebellion on the rest of the planet, of the universe.
That's goddamn right. And they both have truth sayers. So we get to see how the sisterhood functions in politics immediately. They both bring
They're double dealing.
Izzy Lion kind of thing. And what's really neat is what they don't know is that the truth sayers
They know sign language.
have their own motives and they're communicating the whole time. I think it's really well done. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
One says, my duke aims for Arrakis. From here, he can sway the houses. I'm not sure which person she's talking about because she says my duke.
My duke is
Is
referring
Richese.
Richese. That's
So
Richese's truth sayer.
wants Arrakis.
He does, which is why he says, I want my own room in your palace. That's one thing I want. That's what he's adding there. Because the ships are to help him against the Fremen on Arrakis, and spice will flow. That's where that was coined.
I don't know if you guys know this, but he who controls the spice controls the galaxy.
That's what I've heard.
Controls the girls.
Yeah, he wants his own wing in the palace.
Girls.
That's a Spice Girls joke.
They make the rock and world go round as well. Just the fat bottom ones.
Why didn't we name the segment where our favorite performance Spice Girls?
Tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Because that would happen every time.
Could that be the sub, like with Penguin, it was the Kingpin subheader Pussy Boy? Could it be Lisan al-Gaib subheader Spice Girl?
We could workshop it. I don't love it.
Mark Strong is my
I'm here
Spice
for
Girl.
My Spice Girl for this episode? No. My sporty Spice. The Bene Gesserit talk shit with their hands while they're chatting, right? And then basically she tells him, just agree to the wing in the palace because she has her own motives. She wants this deal to go through. That's what Valia told her to make happen.
Yeah.
So he's like, you have a deal, I guess.
Sure.
You get to hang out at my house all the time. I don't even fucking know you. And then
Just don't eat my stuff marked in the refrigerator, okay?
yeah, it says Emperor Carino. Those
That's
are
me.
my olives. The ones with the feta cheese. You can have the pimento.
Yeah, you get the pimento.
That's right.
I get the Colby.
There's more. Nobody puts Colby cheese in olives.
This guy does.
You ever tried it?
No, I mean, it would be fine, I guess. This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
You know, Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light and keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. You know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That's sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
Congratulations, everybody. If you're listening to this, you have survived the year 2024. Well, you've at least made it to November of 2024. And that's something to be thankful for, right? Amongst everything else that's happening in the world, that's something to be thankful for, right? I know I'm thankful for something, and that is the patrons of Streaming Things. You guys are keeping the lights on here for us each and every day. And I want to give a special thank you, a special shout out to our super patrons at the $25 and above level. So thank you to Nice Guy Eddie, Albus Stinkpot, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Sean, Anthony Corona, Jim X, not to be confused with John X, Lady Trashley, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E Scramo, Little Tickler, Svento 7, Jay Scramo, Bluff Pum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Big Butthorn, Jer Latanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elpander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Stanton Valentino, Trisha Bueller, Sun Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jadinklage Morgoon, Jen Robinson, Kloop, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Brenda Bren, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen V, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. Thank you so much for supporting us at Streaming Things. And with that, let's get back to this episode.
And we cut to more Bene Gesserit training. They're testing, this is the pop quiz. They're testing the truth saying on prisoners.
The whole bit where they're doing like little moves in the courtyard,
values just clicking sticks together.
the way it's filmed and the way their moves are, like it just looked like a 1-to-1 shot of some stuff from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like earth, water, fire, then the Fire Nation attacked.
Secret tunnel.
Oh man, can there be a secret tunnel?
I hope there is.
I thought it was just like some
Lovers.
Jedi shit.
Yeah, they're learning the weirding way, are they not?
Sure.
They're getting weird. All right,
Maybe.
bitches, let's get weird. And that's what
That's how I would know.
slay.
Let's get weird, girls.
She does the voice, slay.
And then Beyonce drops.
What happens if a Bene Gesserit tells you to slay in the voice? What do you do?
You just immediately slay. What do you mean? Jen thinks it's simple to deceive, and I really like this scene as well. She tells the story about killing a pedophile and then murdering her parents afterward, and then laughs like, "See, I just lied." But there's this like look afterward that implies it wasn't a lie, which is how she was able to get away with it. She's lying about it being a lie.
Yeah, I didn't like that look because she was like, "Yeah, it's a lie, you guys," and then she turned around and immediately it's almost like
Her and Lila.
she was acting a completely different scene because she just went like, "Ha ha."
1,000-yard stare.
It's like when you played, what was that game where you were a detective and you would press X to doubt, and they used facial recognition of like real actors, so it was like,
Oh,
yeah,
L.A. Noir.
yeah, L.A. Noir, where the person would be like, "I wasn't there on the 25th of November." And then they would immediately be guilty as fuck, and you would press square to doubt.
I doubt it. That meme comes up a lot. I didn't know what game that was from.
L.A. Noir, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I saw one that said, give up, kill yourself. It was like X and square, two different options. People drop that a lot.
That's a game. Yeah, I can't remember what that would be. Yeah, that's a game.
Probably like Heavy Rain or something.
Probably. Sean.
But yeah, I think it's an interesting scene about Jen's character. But the princess is getting dressed by her mother. And by the way, that is I just fucking realized where I saw her. The mother, Natalia, Empress Natalia, is the queen of, it's Ciri's mother in The Witcher, but she's
that's what it is.
warrior.
Yeah.
She's the warrior woman from, I forget what that nation's called. Sintra.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Good.
That's
pull.
why I thought she was great.
She is good. She is good. They're getting ready for the engagement ceremony. She's giving her the veil that she wore. And mommy doesn't like her going to the sisterhood or marrying Pruitt Richese, the kid. She's like,
He's 9.
you could marry whoever you want. I know you want to fuck that swordmaster. If you were my daughter, you would just do that. But Mom, I'm doing what I want. That's what, and her mother, she fights back. She's a feisty princess, right? That's why she's an interesting character. And then Charlie Hunnam from Wish arrives. His name is Desmond Hart. He just walks right off into the fucking palace. And Kasha is the Emperor's truthsayer. And she says that Desmond Hart is telling the truth.
Yeah, they all think that he is dead on Arrakis because he's done like 12 tours.
I know. I hate how
There's
they
been
do.
this attack.
I don't like that they treat Arrakis like Iraq. And you've done 12 tours on Arrakis. It's crazy.
Wow.
Arrakis.
Most people wouldn't even last a single tour. So I'm an asshole for sending you 12 times. Well, you know what I mean?
It's like a Hurt Locker. He just wants to keep going back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He cut to Desmond Hart in the grocery store looking at all the cereal.
I don't know how I was supposed to read this scene because it seemed like Desmond Hart was about to say something else, and then Kasha like mind manipulates him, and he says the other thing. That was how I read it, because he's talking, and then she does something with her hand, and then like his face changes, and then he's like,
I think it's meant to be that he recognizes that she's doing something.
Yeah, so
that other people don't
The
recognize.
finger touching is her locking into truth saying.
oh, that was us all losing the game. You know?
Yeah. We all looked. And so she's detecting whether or not he's lying. And when she unlocks her fingers, it's her coming out of the trance. And the look from him was, I know that you're doing that, and I just lied, and you don't know. Right?
Oh.
Is the way I took it.
Did he lie?
Well, we find out at the end of this episode that he's like got burn inside powers and shit. And
That's true.
none of what he said on Arrakis was the full truth for sure.
Gotcha.
And she says he's telling the truth, or at least he believes it to be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
It wasn't Fremen, it was insurgents from your allied world.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It wasn't Fremen rebelling. It's your own allied worlds, like Rachese and shit, stealing spice.
So when they play the game, that's them true saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
I love that little bit of sound design that they add when they connect that. It sounds like the Nintendo Switch lock-in noise. It's so good.
but this is fascinating because the Bene Gesserit are the ones creating strife on Arrakis.
Yes.
Right? Getting people to attack them and steal spice and stuff to make the Emperor stressed. And so Kasha's like, fuck. Yeah, he's telling the truth. Like, she's walking a very fine line here and getting nervous. And he knows all that. So he's like, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'm Charlie Hunnam, sort of. If you have seen Sons of Anarchy, you have kind of seen me.
I mean, Travis Fimmell's in a ton of other stuff too.
He's cool. I'm just being a dick, and I'm sorry.
He's in Vikings.
I, like the Bene Gesserit, walk a fine line between being funny and being mean. You know?
He's telling the truth.
He's telling the truth, you guys.
I love that the Emperor, again, it kind of speaks to his life of wealth and excess or whatever, but he's like, all right, yeah, well, do you like to party? We got one about to go on. I have to get to. You're welcome to join. They just don't touch the olives. And he's like, all right, sure. I like to party. We cut to Kasha, who has a vision of a red dress, trailing blood, raining sand. We've got like the dual floor looking thing, rotten fruit.
Rotten pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
Which comes into play soon. And then you did this. Really cool visuals.
I love that visual of like it's water and sand coming down. Yanez is in that pool from Wallach 9 in the red dress. And then it becomes like the maw of a Shai-Hulud who comes down onto Kasha.
But he's not as shy.
No.
He's one to eat.
He's all Shai-Hulud.
Confident Hulud.
So she wakes up from this nightmare, and then she goes to say goodbye to the princess. And she tells her kind of emotionally, right? Like, I knew you would lead our Imperium to a better future. I'll be back, but I have to go do something, right? And then the Emperor tells Natalia about Kasha leaving, and Natalia doesn't give a shit. She doesn't like the sisterhood's involvement, you know. And she's like, I don't like this wedding. That's not even an option. We need the fleet, right? And she's like, you know, I remember a time when you took my views seriously, and the empire was better for it, the Imperium. And we remember things differently. And he doesn't clasp her hand. Oh, it's so fucking cold.
What's going on there?
And what's fucked up is she's right. The wedding's bullshit. The sisterhood's bullshit. And we should be running shit.
It's all bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Her name's close to hers too, Natalia. But we cut to Valia and Tula, who are discussing the different sisters in training and which one to pair with Princess Inez to like bring her into the fold more thoroughly.
This is such a fun, well, maybe not fun, but a very cool, quiet scene.
It's a garden conniving scene.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's just two sisters just talking about their pupils, but it's like riveting at the same time.
Sure. Comparing pupils.
Yeah. This is my one. Jen's my favorite. Theodosia's my favorite.
My favorite line is when she says, we have to pair her with one to bring her into our way of thinking. And Tula says, the sisterhoods, you mean? And Valia just, yeah, sure, nerd.
Yeah, sure. The sisterhood.
Humility is one of our tenets.
Blah, blah, blah.
The traveling pants are right there. We get it.
Sisterhood.
Yeah.
The
Sisterhood.
I'm glad you connected that dot.
I'm laughing more because we're brethren, right? So at the premiere, mind you, I'm sitting next to a woman who's like a really popular influencer that I don't know. She's a stranger, and I'm an idiot. And so she's like, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, hi. I'm really excited to see the traveling pants." And she went, "What?" And I was like, "Never mind. There's only like 4 people that would laugh at that, and none of them are here, but I can't help myself."
Whereas in this room, 3 of them are here.
Yeah. So we're on the same page. But yeah, one of them I think it's Tula suggests Emmeline, and Valia says no, she's a bad influence. What about Jen? She has bite. Yeah, but she's a little too crazy and strong-headed, like, right?
What about Theodosia?
I love how she could be great if she could be tamed. Well, some say you were never tamed. If like our mother said,
she said
never tamed.
she reminds me of you. Or when was I ever tamed?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't,
never,
according to our mother, right? Yep. She's still on one. And then Theodosia is Valia's favorite. And I love that, Andy.
Dear Theodosia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pray for you.
What to say to you. That's all I thought the whole time. I was thinking Hamilton as soon as I heard that name.
It's such a good song.
You guys
too.
are my brothers. We're a brotherhood.
My son.
We were supposed to sing the whole thing, Andy.
I'm sorry, man.
Let people get it, and then we get out.
Yeah, but you get me started, and I just gotta see
Shatner.
it through.
But Lila is Tula's favorite. Your favorite is a lamb lost in the woods, right? And she says that no. Lila's a true empath. Plus, given her lineage, she'll be a natural-born truth-sayer. What's her lineage? We don't know. She can't be an Atreides or a Harkonnen. She can't be a Carino.
She's a Palpatine.
Oh no! Somehow they returned.
The dead speak. Yeah, so that's interesting. We get a little mystery there, slightly. And then Valia's hardcore. So weakness is not something to nurture. Well, don't worry. In time, she'll grow all those hard layers that you measure worth by, as I did.
Hey, what matters most is what's underneath those hard layers, my girl.
But it's like coy, you know? She's like, pfft.
Nerd.
Yeah. You're always all feely hurts all the time.
Oh, I'm Tula.
Oh, I'm sad you did a murder. Shut up.
Get
dude.
over it, girl. It's been 30 years. Barf.
At that moment, a ship arrives, shakes all the water like Jurassic Park style, T-Rex style, but it's Kasha. The water in the Jeep.
Okay.
Doop.
I watched that last
It's like a really important scene in your favorite movie, Steve.
I thought you said shakes the water off as if it was a wet dog coming inside after it rained.
No. Vibrates the water.
Okay.
But Kasha tells them of the nightmare, but it was no ordinary nightmare.
I had a bad dream.
I froed up. Do you have any games on your phone, Tula? I still have the fear that I had in the dream, right? It's no ordinary nightmare. And they tell her, or Valia says, don't lose faith in the plan, decades in the making, right? No. What if we've brought on the reckoning? Mm-hmm. Which they totally have, by the way. The Tirana Raphael. Yeah, it's happening.
That's a burning truth.
That's Paul Atreides. The burning truth. And she's like, no. The wedding will proceed, right? House Richese and Richie Rich, that kid sucks. They arrive on Seleucia Secundus, and he says the most cringy, gross shit I've ever seen in my life. Duke Richese says, "May the Richese seed find purchase in royal wombs. May we bust copious nuts in your daughters." Shake hands. So fucking weird, dude. Get the fuck out of my house.
Let's spit on it.
Ew.
The shake, Andy. I don't
Yes,
like it.
the shake.
And then he like tosses his son to him. He like pushes him. Here's this little bitch. Watch out for his lizard toy.
He looks like he's dressed up as Ben Mendelsohn from Rogue One.
He does.
Yeah. And then Inez arrives in the red dress.
Oh.
The one in the nightmare that trails the blood. We've seen it twice in this episode already. There it is. It's trailing the blood.
My God.
And then the rotten fruit, I assume, is the pomegranate thing that they eat for the ceremony.
What an awkward ceremony. Like, we're not getting married yet. This is more of like an engagement announcement. And the way we do that culturally is feed each other.
Yeah, we'll get there because that scene's got some juice. But
Literally and figuratively.
For right now, it just shows Kieran, the swordmaster, like kind of sad she's getting married, right? Well, I'm Atreides. I should be able to, I'm on Caladan.
I'm just a little fuckboy.
I'm close to the name of the Shakespeare guy.
Calaban.
Caliban. Tula and Valia are arguing about Kasha. And this scene is the only time anyone laughed at the premiere. And did you guys laugh here?
I did.
Yeah,
the dismissal line?
Yeah, because that's like, we need more of that. We need a little bit more levity in the show.
Wait, what is it?
It's because Tula says you just dismissed her. She's a great sister. She's a very trained acolyte. And
you just dismissed her out of hand.
She's like, no, I listened to everything she had to say. And then I dismissed her. And that's funny. Get a little stank, a little sass. And she says, so it is blind obedience you want. Yes. Duh.
Girl.
You're not being blindly obedient enough to even ask that.
The first person who was disobedient towards me, I told them to cut her own fucking throat.
I shanked her like this was prison.
Yes,
I
prison
told her
rules.
to queef at lunch.
We're still talking about it. She was so embarrassed.
It was so funny. Yeah. And we cut to the ceremony again, and this is what my family calls me Nez. She's trying really hard, and Pruitt's a cock, right?
Daddy says we don't have to speak. This is just formality.
Yeah, we don't have to be friends. I don't want cooties. Get away. And then the metal box opens up to reveal the fruit, and then he won't let her feed him. He takes it, and then he has this awkward.
Oh my God, that trying to open up her veil and shove a berry in there was the most cringy. I wanted to get out of that scene so fast.
I just want to go play with my toy.
But very effective.
Yeah.
It did its job.
Yeah.
And then we see the after party.
I have a note here where could they have not gotten any other instruments for this occasion than the foreboding horns? Like, they're going to get married.
I love it.
That doesn't sound like an ill portent at all.
No, I like it. What do you want him to play?
Harmonica.
Get in there. Yeah.
That would have been
Wobble
better.
baby, wobble baby, wobble baby,
That
wobble.
would've been
Just a
better.
bunch of wedding songs. Slide to the left.
Slide.
Clap 3 times.
Everybody clap your hand. And then I'll start going with it.
I mean,
That is a ceremony, okay?
that's how we do it.
That's how we get down.
Or Chazy's like to party, bro. Let's fucking go.
The party afterward, Constantine's over there playing the lute, and he's got hella people crushing on
This
him.
one's Wonderwall.
Oh, don't get me started, buddy. I almost busted out. I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
I'm not going to do it.
proud of
Don't
you.
do it, Andy.
I'm not going to do it.
Baron Harkonnen is there.
He's lying.
He's got a...
Titties.
By now, you should have somehow... God damn it.
I have the gift. I can tell when they're lying.
You started it, Steve. Baron Harkonnen has a whale fur pitch he's trying to drop on the Emperor.
Whale fur.
Dude, I didn't catch it till the second watch, but he's trying to get him to use whale cum as medicine as well.
Daddy. Soon you'll know the incredible medicinal properties of whale seed.
And you can see Racheze slide in the background, and he's like, yo, what were you saying about that whale nut?
Let me get some. Let me get some of that whale nut.
Will it find purchase in royal wombs?
This is my Moby Dick.
But Pruitt has a secret toy he doesn't want to show Inez, and it turns out it's a fucking robot lizard.
Dude, I geeked out.
You gasped?
I did. I was like, oh, it's a little robot.
It's a thinking machine.
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
You can't have those.
It's thinking for itself.
Desmond Hart stabs it. Everybody's freaking out. Natalia is very upset. She's like, step aside. We have to kill the boy now. I'm like, yeah, do it. And Desmond's like, I will.
Pruitt sucks.
But Duke Racheze downplays it.
I see what you did there. I will.
You guys, come on, guys. It's not a big deal, right? And then Natalia says, you exist because House Carino defeated thinking machines. Javico. But then the Emperor bitches out because he realizes I really do need those motherships.
Let us, for now.
For now,
Overlook it.
let's sleep on it.
That was pretty fucked up.
He is
But
rich.
it's cool.
And then Nez,
Why does the boy have... I said no Digimon at dinner.
basically that's
God
what it
damn
is.
it.
Yeah. I choose you.
If you
That's
stick them
Pokemon.
together, they can fight.
Inez, he goes up to thank her.
It would have been so funny if he actually just had a Tamagotchi and they're like, oh, a thinking machine.
I had to feed it.
It's hungry.
Beep, beep, beep. What's it doing? It pooped.
And the boys Pruitt's really grateful to Nez for like standing, not because she could have let mom kill him.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nez.
Oh, you fucking pull shit like that again, I'll stab you myself, you little shit.
Yes.
Right? She's not to be fucked with. I like that. I like her character. It cuts to Valia, who's like telling her sister, probably not honestly, I checked the genetic archive. The plan holds. He's the perfect one. It's the great union, okay? Inez is the genetic choice. What was that thing she puts on the wall?
That was the archive, right?
I don't think so. She like puts it on the wall before they talk, as though, because in Dune there are
I'd
things.
have to see the scene again. I can't remember.
There are like privacy shields where people can't hear what you're saying outside the bubble, but there's a visible bubble in the movies when they do that. I don't know if it was like a door locker. She like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I thought you were talking about like the thing that the Dorothea.
It looks like that, and maybe it is, but it doesn't look like the place they would store the genetic archive. Maybe it is.
They just throw that thing around.
Yeah, just put it on the wall anywhere. It's got this cool feature where it just sticks. It's double-sided tape, really.
Yeah.
So
They got Apple Tag. They can find that where if they misplace it somewhere in their house.
yeah,
We'll still be using this in 10,000
Apple
years.
Tag. Where is it?
Ping.
Yeah, but you can't keep. And she tells Valia. Tula says you can't keep taking pieces off the board just because they disagree with you, which is not true. Valia. Yeah.
That's kind of my job.
Ladies, get ready for night, and the princess strolls in.
You know how ladies be doing.
They get ready for night.
Yeah.
And one of them is upset. I don't remember which one. It's Emmeline or something, I think.
I'm so mixed up on the young Bene Gesserit. I don't know who's who.
The only one I know for sure, there's Lila and Theodosia, and I know Jen. She's distinct. I think
Jen's
the
the
other
one
one
that-
has to be, the only other one with a line has to be Emmeline.
Yeah, Jen's the liar. Theodosia is the woman who like clotheslines
Yeah,
Lila,
she's like
I
the
think.
best at everything. It's Valia's favorite.
Lila's like the smaller, dark-haired one. I don't know who.
She's the one that's a scaredy cat. Emmeline is the one that says it's kind of bullshit. She just gets to be an acolyte, and we've
Okay.
worked hard our whole life because she's the only other named acolyte, so she has to be.
I have to just watch it again.
But Nez and Constantine are on the bus, and and he thinks they're going.
Bus.
They bump a rock star rail.
Yeah, he's like, well, nah, that's like a fucking bump.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it's not a rock star.
I don't know. She went all the way down
She's
the
got tiny hands.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, we've passed the Loas. We're going
watched-
to division
We watched the scene and I was just like, oh, they're doing key bumps in the Uber. That's awesome.
for sure.
Literally.
Let's do one last night out. And then Desmond, we cut to Desmond, who's checking on a very pensive Emperor Carino.
Hey, buddy, it's your weird friend, not at all checking in for ulterior motives.
up?
What's up, dude?
I love how
Don't
he's,
hit this.
this is another thing that was a silly scene to me because he goes, fear can be debilitating. And my immediate thought was, that's not the line. It's fear is the mind killer.
Fear can be debilitating.
Like it evolves over 10,000 years into being cooler, I guess.
They workshopped it.
But he's like, the fleet will help you on Arrakis, but it will do nothing about the growing insurgency in the Imperium. Oh, do tell. More and more people question if we were too quick to discard the machines. Have your Bene Gesserit friends not told you about this? It's pretty well known, right?
And other houses are profiting from the spice and not you.
Or no. Other houses are upset that only the great houses are
that's right,
profiting
that's
from
right.
the spice.
Yes, that's right.
And he says, I feel like this wedding is wrong, but Kasha's never led me astray before.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows, right? He knows he should listen to his wife. And then at this point, Desmond tells the story of his near death and how he was reborn. And he's like, I don't know. Religion is my wife's refuge. I tell you what, if the gods freed me from this vice of a wedding, consider me a true believer. And there's this look in Desmond's eye where he's like, I hear you loud and clear, boss.
10-4, good buddy.
You need me to kill the kid, don't you? You know what? I already wanted to. So this is great news.
This is great. Thank you so much.
And we cut to in the club, they all fam.
I'm in the club.
And there's a Fremen.
Constantine's walking around in just a vest, no shirt.
That's how I
know.
club. That's how I club.
And then like one woman's wearing a mosquito net.
That's also
as a
how I club.
dress.
Sure. There's a Fremen bartender. I think we're glossing over this incredibly glaring memberberry guys.
Are they?
Yeah, she's got the
God, I missed that.
blue eyes.
Oh, I saw she
I
had
was
the blue
busy
eyes. I
taking
just
notes.
didn't connect that she was a Fremen. I just was like, oh, that's someone who spices a lot.
They like the spice.
You think so? I mean,
'Cause they had the
you've
blue
read
eye-
you've
they-
read the book more than I have. Is there people that are not Fremen that just spice so hard their eyes are blue all the time?
I mean, I don't know. I can't think of any specific examples, but like my understanding is you have blue eyes because they just spice all the time.
Yes, but they're like
Spice
they
for
live
life.
on a planet covered in spice. Is
that's
why
true.
they look that way.
Well, then why wouldn't her? Is she a freshie off the boat?
I don't know. I think it's fascinating why she got the blue eyes.
I mean, they're definitely going to go back to her because they really like linger on her, and there was like a lot of like, oh,
well, it's like Kieran's
I'm here,
girlfriend or something.
Yeah, or
And she's a little
something.
jelly, and he's an Atreides.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically early Paul and early Chani.
Yeah, he knows all about that desert power.
He does.
Oh, is this where they reveal he's Atreides?
Yeah, 'cause
My
she's like,
bad, I said that
Atreides.
earlier.
Everything cool? And he's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm about to fuck. And she's like, and then they grab some like, well, I thought was airplane liquor bottles, but it turns out it's vape juice.
Yeah.
Or Steve,
An inhaler,
whippets.
whip it,
Whippets.
Could be whippets. Because then that's like a cracker that they're using.
Salvia.
I had
basement.
I had, when I was younger, I had an inhaler. Like I was really asthmatic when I was a kid, so I had an inhaler that
When
had
you like grew out of that?
I did. Well, I technically still have asthma, but I don't need the inhaler to function. Only when I'm like, I probably should have an inhaler on me all the time. I just don't because
You don't be a
I'm
nerd.
dangerous. Well, when I was little, I had this inhaler that like it was like your standard L-shaped inhaler. Then it had a barrel on it.
Sure.
And then at the end of the barrel, it had like a silicone like cup thing to go over your mouth.
Yeah.
And so when they busted that thing out to start getting high,
Oh, they have asthma.
I was laughing. He was like, "Hair girl, want to fuck?"
Yeah, I don't want to get
Because
out of breath.
she exhales, Nez exhales at one point, and like the smoke comes out, and I vividly remember being a kid going,
Oh, yeah.
just doing that shit.
For
'cause
sure.
it was fun.
I did that till I was like 25
Did that yesterday.
with crack though. And she says, she grabs his D's and B's and stick and ball, Steve.
Thank you.
And he's like, no, you're the princess. And she says, in 2 days time, I'll be in another world. And he's like, okay, touch it.
Okay, lights on under the blanket.
And then they go straight in. I don't like that. It's not realistic.
Yeah, they got to work it up. a
Yeah,
little
do
bit.
something.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
They couldn't wait.
It's so
They've
not
been-
how you do
They've
it.
been fighting and like getting all physical for a month. They couldn't wait anymore. Like, get it in.
Yeah, but I just don't think that's going to work for her.
It's a dumb scene.
It's not going to work for her.
This is top 3.
This is your top three. This is your number one.
Prone bone.
We all have your body.
Yeah. Jen and Lila are awake on Wallach 9, and Lila says, your story was a lie, but there was truth behind it. Talking about her killing her own parents. And then Lila was raised in the sisterhood, we find out in this scene. And she says, look, they don't always tell us who our parents are. So she doesn't know who her parents are. And maybe Jen doesn't either. But Lila definitely doesn't, is the point we're supposed to have about that scene, because they talked about her lineage earlier on as well.
Yeah. One way or another, our past always finds
Yeah,
us.
don't worry, girl. You're going to find out. It's a TV show.
Yeah. Just tune in every Sunday night.
And then we cut to the Emperor, who finds a little present in his like soundproof entertainment room. That's where he live streams on Twitch and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, smash that. Like,
Ring
wait
the
a
bell.
second. What's this? It's an Arrakis video. And I don't think I've ever seen. Yeah, I have. Because there's like, what is
Holograms?
yeah, hollow books or whatever.
Yeah. And then that's how the Harkonnens have like a map of the siege that Fade Ralph is destroying. Like, brilliant, you bombed it.
Brilliant.
It
Why
was like
did we never think of that?
super high res. Like they just got cameras floating around everywhere, satellite shit. And he's like, I'm going to check the CCTV footage from his 8th tour in Arrakis and see what happened.
Well, it was left there for him. So it implies that Desmond wanted him to see how he was reborn. And only on my second watch did I realize that's definitely Desmond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's dressed up like a Fremen. Well, he's in a still suit because you have to be to live on Arrakis at all.
Right.
And he has a thumper. He calls the Shai-Hulud worm and lets it eat him. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And
Wasn't a shy halud. He brought the beats.
meanwhile,
I'm not going to come eat you till you drop the beats. Ooh.
here I come.
Okay. All right. Here I come.
And Pruitt is playing with his fucking robot in the hallway. He's very bad at being sneaky. I love that. It's cool though, because when Desmond walks up, he goes, "There you are." He's been looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to kill you, Dormammu. And Father says we've become far too strict about such things. And I love Desmond's face. Really? Fucking just treason right out. And okay. That's what we're doing.
You're a soldier? Why are you here?
There's no war. That kid sucks, dude. You should always be fighting or dying. And he says there's a war hidden in plain sight, waged by an enemy that has made themselves indispensable.
Who's he talking about?
He's talking about the Bene Gesserit.
Bene Gesserit.
And it's so troubling that no one seems to notice that we're being controlled again. So he thinks the machines sucked and the Bene Gesserit sucked just like the machines do.
They're controlling humans.
They're machine
Really
ladies.
phrased that poorly. And then he said, on the video, we cut back to the Emperor. We see him swallowed willingly by the Shai Hulud. And he says, I've been gifted a great power, but don't worry. Your sacrifice won't be in vain. And then he burns him from the inside.
Oh, fucking brutal, man.
It's fucking gnarly.
Ow!
Help! And he just does a little bit of a temple touch, you know?
Well, I don't understand the full breadth of his power because I like that. Okay, he's doing it to Pruitt. I hate the kid, so that's one.
Oh, his screams were pretty gut-wrenching.
I feel bad for the kid because, I mean, any sort of medium.
He's just a kid.
He's just a kid, but also any sort of medium. If you have a kid who has a quote-unquote inanimate object that they're like friends with, I immediately am just like, oh. So when he's just like, he just wants to hang out with his little lizard buddy. And the fact that Nez sort of stepped up to protect him and his lizard buddy. And he was like, oh, Nez, that was really cool. Fuck you, kid. Like, oh, it's the first time I've ever tried to be nice to someone.
Well, he does
my
suck,
little lizard
but it's
friend.
because his dad sucks, right?
Yeah.
He like pushed him toward her, like royal wombs.
I just want to hang out with my little lizard friend.
What's a womb? But I do wonder what the abilities are. Because it's like he can see Pruitt, but then he also kills Kasha, who's on a different planet.
He's still got the machine powers, bro. The machines can do it.
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
You can't just say shit.
Well, the whole thing has been like the machines, the crazy powers that the thinking machines had. And I don't know. It just seems like a pretty machiney ability to be able to burn somebody from the inside out.
There is something interesting happening because we see a couple visions during this episode, and the visions all end with the machines. Clearly, clearly there's some sort of machine threat in the background going on in the story.
I think Desmond is just like, I got this power that I've been working on. Check it out. And just fucking burns him.
I just taught myself this. I was going to show it to you, kid, but bend to me. No, I'm really concerned that he has the ability to kill Kasha remotely is what I'm trying to say. Because if that's the case, why doesn't he just do that all the time?
I'm wondering if like he's able to tap into something otherworldly that's happening, because when Kasha has her vision, there's like all that the indistinct whispering that's happening is like focused on her, and it seems like no one really else is like at least being framed visually that way. So I'm wondering if he's tapping into whatever that is to kill the kid, and because she's sort of keyed into that,
it happened to her as well.
It happened to her as well accidentally.
I think that has to be the case, because he doesn't even. Yeah, he does.
Well, he knows her.
Yeah.
Maybe because she like.
I bet it was
connected
Tula.
to him. I don't know.
I bet she's working for the machines.
Oh, Andy throwing down heavy predictions. I love it.
# Andy's trying to be right.
Oh, Andy is right, bro. You're going to find out.
The hashtag is Andy's trying to be right until he's right.
And then you can use it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
I love that.
Then we cut to Valia and Tula, who hear screaming on Wallach 9. It's Kasha. And while she watches her burn, some might say it's a burning truth. Valia says, I see, mother, talking to Raquella.
I see.
This is the burning truth. I see it as foretold, as is written.
And then they have that shot of the embers flying up into space, which is what we saw in the beginning of the episode. It's
Yes,
like a
indeed.
bookend.
Bing, bang, boom, book end, because it's based on a book. I like what you did there up top.
I love that Kasha like breathes smoke. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Just awesome visual of somebody being burnt from the inside.
Just like Kieran.
And the juxtaposition of between like how it affects her and Pruitt, because Pruitt's just a child and it's like screaming and it's awful and it's horrible to watch. But she's clearly in pain, but she's also
She's
not
taking it better.
because she's got that training, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they can do the poison transmutation as well.
Yeah.
Transmute the fire.
I'm trying to transmute it. It's not working. It's the difference between like, so Pruitt is when I used to microwave Hot Pockets in the microwave.
Sure.
And
Just
Kasha
bite them right away.
is the air fryer. Yeah.
Sure.
If we could use a metaphor.
I like it. The spice melange moments. That's time. It's time now. Our
here we
top
go.
3 favorite moments of the episode. Andy, what is your number 3 melange?
I went with the Bene Gesserit's hanging out behind Carino and Richese and doing their little sign language to each other. I just love the powers that be in the background kind of vibe that I got from it. You know what I mean? Where they're like, yeah, he's the emperor and this guy wants Arrakis, but we're the ones in control. We're wearing the pants. I don't know. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. It's like the people in the shadows, but they're not in the shadows. They're standing there in the light, but they don't know.
Yeah, nobody speaks ASL. So
It's pretty dope.
Steve?
My number 3 is just Pruitt having a machine. Like that little reveal when the lizard pops up and everyone freaks the fuck out because like, oh my God, it's a thinking machine.
It's a fucking Furby.
Even though like this little lizard thing doesn't do anything to anybody. It just seems to be just I'm just a little lizard. I'm a little friend, but everyone wigs out. And it's just like a neat little like sort of like a peek into the rest of the world of Dune. Like how bad were the machines to elicit that sort of response from everybody? Also, or could it be just everyone is like thinking in this zealotrous cult-like behavior, like, oh, machine bad is the devil type thing? I don't know so much in this moment. And I just like the surprise of seeing a thinking machine in this world was enough to get me, but also just everyone's reactions to it was also really fascinating.
Absolutely. My number 3, I think, is the burning of Pruitt. I think it did a really good job, even though I was kind of on the fence for a lot of this thing. Like, I wonder what the fuck that is. It's very interesting. That's definitely thrown me for a loop. It's put me outside of the confines of what I know, even in this weird world of Dune. And I'm in. That's an interesting way to end it. Okay. I wonder what's burning people. Uh-oh. Confused. Cool. And it's just really well done. Like the idea is cool. The execution is cool. The way that you can kind of see it poking through their skin and shit and the smoke coming out and the ash is like, fuck, dude, that sucks. Yeah. Very well done. And, fuck Pruitt. Andy, you're number 2?
That's my number 2. Specifically the Pruitt death, just because, I don't know, it's fucking gnarly. Little kid screaming, burning from the inside out. I don't know. It's just that did something for me. Just the hint at what the fuck are we dealing with? Where is the show going to go? Because if we're leading off with that type of abilities, what the fuck comes next? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just a gnarly kill. So I dug it.
Steve, you're number 2.
My number 2 is young Valia using the voice. I just really geeked out at that. It's silly, but also like just sort of the implications of the way her and Dorothea are kind of talking about, using the genetic index. And like by all intents and purposes, from an outside perspective view, it would seem like Valia is the zealot, but the way she's kind of using that language towards Dorothea is like a really interesting spin on it, and just how horrifying that has to be like, hey, turn around, and oh, why can't I resist you? And just putting the blade in her neck and killing herself is very effective, and immediately you kind of see the blood on the steps and realize, oh, these visions are gonna like come true in some way, shape, or form, and it's already happening. And I just think Jessica Barden, who plays the young Valia, is like really effective in that scene, and I'm honestly a little kind of bummed that we don't get to spend more time with her. I hope we get to see her in other flashbacks because she was great.
My number 2 is going to be the conversation between Valia and Tula. I love their back and forth, but specifically the one where she is talking about, you just want blind obedience, don't you? When she's talking about dismissing Kasha too quickly. And I think there's so much, because Tula has always done her sister's bidding. She's always been on her side, even way back at the foundation of the murder and all that stuff. But you can tell that there's a lot more hesitance on Tula's part. And I think it's fascinating. I think we will see that divide broaden throughout the next 5 episodes considerably, maybe to outright enmity. I'm not sure. But it is fascinating, and it's Emily Watson plays Valia Harkonnen, and I think she's at her best when opposite Tula, because that's when she lets her guard down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my number 2. Andy, your number 1.
My number 1 is young Valia using the voice. Even though I think it's silly as fuck that she's just like, it's just something I've been workshopping and I was going to show you and get your thoughts.
I've just been working on controlling people.
The
It's no big
fucking
deal.
stop, face me, and take out your blade. That's so fucking gnarly. And everything you said about how the prophecies are going to tie into this a ton, and I don't know. It's just really, really cool. I got chills from it because I was like, oh, fuck, she used the voice. You know what I mean? Even though like the situation is silly, but the execution of it was fucking fire.
Nice. My number 1, speaking of fire, is Pruitt catching fire.
Yes.
I just think that was a really effective scene because Desmond, from the jump, as soon as that character sort of appears, you're like, okay, that guy can't be trusted.
Yeah, he's just like Jack Sparrow getting off the boat at the beginning of Pirates.
Right. And so it's kind of funny to see him like hobnobbing with royalty and no one's like, why is Stinky Pants here? But to see him sort of waltz up to that kid immediately after what the Emperor said, it's like, oh no, he's going to kill that kid. So you're kind of on the edge of your seat. And the fact that he can burn people from the inside with his mind or whatever,
Yeah, I didn't
is
expect
something
that.
I didn't expect at all. And it was one of those things like that.
And he's like kind of sad about doing it the whole time. He's like grimacing and crying a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, buddy.
Hurry up and die, Jesus.
And just it was really hard to watch in a way. Even though this kid's not really being burned, it's still like, oh, that's rough.
He wasn't?
No, unless he's
Movies
like,
aren't real?
unless he's Daniel Day-Lewising this shit. He's like, no, burn me for real. But this was the scene that made me think, okay, I'm in for the rest of the series because I honestly have no idea what this is. And I'm very intrigued by it, and I want to know where it's going now. Because up to this point, I was kind of like, this is okay. This isn't exactly what I was hoping it would be. But then this scene happened, and I'm like, all right, I want to know.
Bet.
I need to know what's going on. So that's why it's my number 1.
My number 1. My number 1 is, might be strange. It's Kasha's Nightmare.
It's a good number 1.
I think it was just so beautiful.
It is.
Visually crazy. Everything I want from Dune stuff, with Princess Nez's blood dress and her hanging from the ceiling and the water and the sand falling and all that stuff is so fucking well done. And the Shai-Hulud wearing, like, it's all, I don't know what's going on, but I love it. That's my number 1. Now it's time for our burning truths. Any kind of Easter eggs or lore tids and bits we can pull out. Andy, do you have anything?
No, I need to read the book.
Steve.
In the beginning, when we're at Wallach 9, and there are these other houses that are requesting truthsayers.
Varric and Kumali.
And Kumali. Kumali is a great house. I don't know if this is at the time, because a little bit of the timeline of Dune is so vast, it's a little hard for me to place. But I know Kumali, at one point, there was a character named Saad Kumali, who was
Zod?
actually S-A-apostrophe-A-D. Zahad.
Kneel before Zahad.
Not Zod. I was whoa.
Yeah, we're not kneeling in front of this guy. But he actually was the president of the Landsrat, which they don't really talk about in this series either. They don't talk about the Landsrat in the movies that much either, but the Landsrat is like the council of the great houses. So there's an emperor, right, who controls the empire, but there is this council called the Landsrat where it's the leaders of all the great houses, and they actually sort of act as a check and balance for the emperor. So at any point, if they think the emperor is being a douche, the Landsrat could theoretically
The judicial
veto
branch.
him. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Kamali was the president of the Landsrat, but also he does become emperor at some point in time in the Dune timeline. So I just thought that was a cool little name drop of Kamali. I tried to find something on Varric. I didn't see anything. There is a house called Vernius, which is kind of interesting because House Vernius in the lore actually has a beef with House Rechese. To some extent, I'm not super familiar on the extent of what it is, but I do know they have some sort of like antagonistic relationship with Rechese. So it's interesting if they meant to do Vernius. I don't know. Just so those are my little bits there.
Interesting. The Empress Natalia, Nez's mother, when she's given her like the veil and the wedding dress and that kind of stuff, she mentions the Wanderers of Harmon-Threp.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, and I did some digging. And again, I'm not a Dune book reader, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it would appear that the Harmon-Threp was a planet orbiting the star Delta Pavonis, and it was a swampy world with like a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere. And this planet was destroyed, so don't worry about that. However,
oh man, I fell in love with it in that few minutes. You took it away from me.
I imagine Yoda was probably there, and then, or no,
into exile I must go.
The Wanderers are called the Zinsuni, and the Zinsuni Wanderers came from 8 different planets or so, but they are the ancestors of the Fremen. So nobody's from Arrakis. They all came from Harmon-Threp, Thrograd, Rossak, Bela Lugosi, not to be confused with Bela Lugosi. Salusa Secundus is one of them. Poratrin, Nilotic al-Aruba. It doesn't matter. So they're all Fremen ancestors that originated, I think, from Muslims on Earth, is what it's saying. Didn't know that. So anyway, that's what the Wanderers of Harmon-Threp would be. They're actually like the ancestors of the Fremen. So
cool.
I don't even remember why she said that or what object or what context, but she said it.
As soon as you said it, I remember she said it.
I wrote it down. But now it's time to nominate our Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib or Spice Girl.
That's yes.
Have you ever seen someone's soul exit their body quicker than what you just did, kid?
Mine went back in.
It's like, Lisan al-Gaib. Fuck.
Broke my heart a little bit. To whom are we going to gift this award, or who are we going to nominate? Andy, who is your Lisan al-Gaib?
I'm going to go with Emily Watson. I just fucking love her. You know what I mean? I'm so excited when she pops up in anything, and to see her be this power-hungry, mad matron zealot person is just fascinating to me, and I love seeing her in this role.
She was in Small Things Like These.
Yeah.
When I watched the Cillian Murphy movie where she's like an evil nun. So I was like, same thing, literally the same role.
Nice. Anyway, yeah, she just kicks ass. So even though we haven't gotten to see a lot from her.
Oh, she was in Chernobyl.
Yeah, buddy. We need iodine. I'm of all of the main cast that we were introduced to, I'm most interested by her. So I just have to give it to her on that because she's the one that I perked up anytime she popped up on screen. So yeah.
Awesome. Steve?
I'm going to give my award to, and I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm so sorry. Jihei?
Oh, Kasha?
Yeah, she plays Kasha, adult Kasha. As this episode was sort of progressing, every time Kasha would come up, I kept thinking, like, I think Kasha's probably is she gonna end up being my favorite character of the series? Something about her, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, she's doing like the secret like hand gestures in that meeting. She's like leading the emperor down a path. She's kind of against everybody in her own way, but she actually cares about Yanez. And then she's dead by the end of it.
Yeah, she is one of the most interesting characters, so it sucks.
But like in this one episode, I was immediately I honed in on Kesha. I'm gonna keep calling her Kesha. I hope she spells her name with a $. I just honed in on her for whatever reason and really enjoyed her work. I mean, that scene that you mentioned being one of your favorites, Kit, with
the nightmare
where she's reaching up like, no, like that was really, really powerful.
Yes.
And RIP, gone too soon. I wish she was still around. I hope she comes back in flashbacks because that was my favorite performance.
I agree with Andy. I think I have to give it to Emily Watson. I think Valia Harkonnen has more layers than an ogre, and I'm excited to delve into them. But I think Kasha's a great choice. Phenomenal performance. And I made a lot of jokes, but like Desmond Hart's cool. Like there's a lot of good performances in this.
I almost gave it to Jessica Barden, who was young Valia Harkonnen.
Oh, really?
Because I thought she was awesome.
She was awesome.
And the brief little intro, like that, very commanding and powerful.
Yeah. Literally commanding and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Pull out your blade. Stab your throat. Make it look like an accident.
Grief at lunch.
I'm glad that it tickled you. I was scared to say it.
That tickled me greatly.
But thus ends our coverage on episode 1 of Dune Prophecy.
It happened.
Look forward to our coverage on episode 2 next week. As soon as you fucking watch it, it'll be available on Spotify and iTunes. Share it widely, rate and review the show if you liked it. If you didn't, so don't bother. And you can remember, you can go to patreon.com/streaming things if you're into Game of Thrones or 2 random movies each month or an entire thriving Discord community of weirdos. Probably over 100 people now in there just hanging out, doing all kinds of things. We all watched the fight together last night. All kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's great. You can gift a Patreon subscription to people now for Christmas. It's the holidays are coming up. You can gift that. It's a fun time.
Yeah. Great speech, Steve.
Thank you. Let's go fuck them in the ass.
But that's all the time we've got for right now. We've got to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming Dune Prophecy.
Happy streaming.
Tula oblongata.
My mama says.
The alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.